What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I gotta apologize. I have not been playing much of Modern Warfare 2 recently, so I don't have any new gameplay. And I've been grinding so much Battlefield 2042 recently to get through the Battle Pass that I haven't been touching too much OG CODs to show too much new gameplay. So I'm going to be recycling some Infinite Warfare gameplay that I used a while ago. Hopefully it won't be, too bad. I think it was pretty enjoyable. And of course, I will be streaming today and tomorrow, playing some more Call of Duty related stuff, probably OG classics. So if you guys want to be a part of that, see some OG COD games live and in action in 2023, then by all means, you guys can check out my stream. The link to that is in the description of this video. But today I wanted to go ahead and actually discuss something regarding Call of Duty 2023 because I saw a point being made by the Ghost of Hope over on Twitter that, I can see some realistic values out of it, but then again, of course, when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise, I have set a mindset where nothing shocks me anymore. I expect the worst to happen. You really think that it's not possible? Trust me, when it comes to Call of Duty, it's always possible. But the Ghost of Hope said, Sledgehammer Games has probably one of the easiest layups ever this year for COD. Take Modern Warfare 2 as the base of the game and improve the game design where Infinity Ward wouldn't. And honestly, he's completely right. Now, I know not everybody will agree with this, but that's fair enough. You guys have to understand Call of Duty has two completely different styles. There's a Treyarch style and there's Infinity Ward style. I love them personally both, but in order to love them both, you have to respect them both equally, Ever since the beginning of time, Infinity Ward, their games or their COD games have been always more tactical, a little bit more angle-based than a Treyarch game where, you can be a lot more run and gunny. So you have to understand the differences and accept the games for what they are. And if you don't like the Infinity Ward style, then that's completely understandable. And I also want to state that Infinite Warfare is an exception to the traditional Infinity Ward style. This is the only fast-paced Infinity Ward game that I've really seen, even though, again, Modern Warfare 2019 tried to speed it up with movement. But when it comes to core gameplay, Infinite Warfare almost didn't even feel like a traditional Infinity Ward title. But the Ghost of Hope has a really good point here because Modern Warfare 2's, gameplay itself alone when it comes to the gunplay, the new movement, it's a little bit more toned back, more classic, traditional, but not slow like, back in Modern Warfare 2 or Call of Duty 4, nothing like that. It just feels really clean. And with the new map designs and the reworks, they said they put a lot of emphasis on trying to make better maps, and I agree. A lot of the core maps in this game have been great. Of course, you guys know I've been angry because of the lack of content, but I say all the time that the maps that we already have, I actually really enjoy. What weighs Modern Warfare 2 down personally for me is the fact that it has no content and the ego of the developers at Infinity Ward. And of course, I know, you guys have to understand when I say the developers, I'm not talking about, the 3,000 devs. I'm talking about management, the people who, call all the shots in this game. Their ego is just absurd, and they don't want to listen to feedback. They don't want to make changes. What they do is a masterpiece in their eyes, regardless of what anybody has to say about it, even if you're the most hardcore Call of Duty fan in the universe. And that's what really turns me away from their games. We don't matter. We simply don't matter. And with the introduction of Warzone, especially since, Infinity Ward made the original one, they, obviously sparked up the concept. They are just at the forefront. They truthfully are at the forefront of just top-notch, egotistical devs. I guess I can understand where they get the balloon head from, making stuff like that, and then probably getting all that praise, probably a ton of money from Activision after they bring in all those profits from Warzone. They probably do have an ego, but at the end of the day, good professional developers, some of the best that you'll ever know, will be able to manage that ego and still work with their community. They can understand that they do good things, but without their community, they are still absolutely nothing. And Infinity Ward simply doesn't have that. And Sledgehammer surprisingly does. It's sad because I don't really care for their style of games, but they have to be the best development team out of the three, between Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer, who actually listen to feedback. And I know a lot of Treyarch, fans are going to get mad at me, but we have to be honest, they don't listen either. They are just as bad as Infinity Ward. Yes, they might make the core game better. They understand what Call of Duty is more than Infinity Ward, but that doesn't mean they listen to us. You guys remember back when Black Ops 4 first came out and we were all begging them to change the HP to 125. Oh, imagine how hard it is to change the HP to 125, you know? Yeah, of course they would have to mess around with a bunch of weapons, but for the love of God, DICE went ahead and just did it for the fun of it. You know, it wasn't even a problem with Battlefield 5, and they just changed everything just for the fun of it. It can't be that bad or that hard of an issue that, you know, so many developers that are working at Treyarch can't handle, you know, but they still said, basically, F you, we're not changing anything. What's in the game is set. They're not any better than Infinity Ward. Again, they make a pretty good fast-paced COD title. They understand the core fundamentals of red dots on the minimap and having, you know, certain perks and balancing stuff out and having a skill gap, so on and so forth, but they still don't listen that much better. But Sledgehammer, on the other hand, remember Vanguard? They basically took everything from Modern Warfare 2019 and resolved it a bit. Besides the minimap, they made the perk. They started off making that perk, so they were the ones who created that. But yeah, I mean, they listen the most. At the end of the day, they listen the most. And truthfully, they have an easy layup. I agree. All they have to do is take the formula from Modern Warfare 2 and perfect it. Listen to us. Listen to the community. It's as simple as that. You know, they make it seem so complex, but truthfully, that's all they have to do is just to listen to the community. I also think back to Modern Warfare 3 because that's another game that Sledgehammer came in and pretty much, I don't want to say saved, but they were a massive part of that overall project. You have to remember, after Modern Warfare 2, the original Infinity Ward team was pretty much, you know, wiped clean. A lot of them went over to Respawn and, you know, went on with that lifestyle. But after all the lawsuits and all the crap with the Modern Warfare 2 game, it just was a mess. So Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer had a big part in that game. And a lot of people say that was just simply a more polished off Modern Warfare 2, you know? It wasn't anything crazier. Yeah, they had some, you know, I guess additions and some things that added on, like the specialist bonuses and stuff like that, which were really cool. But realistically, gameplay-wise, it was Modern Warfare 2, but way more polished off, you know, minus all the newbie cheese, because that's what Modern Warfare 2 was. Modern Warfare 2 might be an iconic game, but down to its core, it was iconic because it was the cheesiest game you could possibly imagine. It wasn't iconic because, you know, it was basically competitive as hell and casuals. Maybe the competitive scene on the side, the actual MLG competitive scene was good, but in casual matches, it was just cheese central. It was absurd. That's what it was known for. Modern Warfare 3 balanced it, and Sledgehammer Games did that. They might do the same exact thing when it comes to Modern Warfare, whatever. You know, whatever. I guess Modern Warfare 3, right? Because we have Modern Warfare 2 here, and they're saying Call of Duty 2023 is going to be the, you know, basically following up the story and everything. So it basically is the same exact lineup that we had back in the day with the original Modern Warfare 3. It's so crazy how Call of Duty games line up. It makes no sense. I don't get why Activision is doing us like this right now. But who knows? Maybe Sledgehammer could pull through. My problem with Vanguard was they had a World War II theme, and I'm a huge World War II Call of Duty fan because World at War is one of my favorite Call of Duty games ever made. It honestly is one of my favorite World War II games ever made. It's insane. And every World War II game that comes out, I compare it to World at War. I truthfully do. And none of them have lived up to that title. And when Vanguard came out, yeah, it might have been a better Modern Warfare 2019. They proved that they listened to the community and they made a better version, but I was still just so bummed out that it didn't fit the potential of World at War. And at the same time, it just felt too basic. It didn't feel original. It didn't feel like a Sledgehammer title. Advanced Warfare, World War II, they both felt very unique compared to an Infinity Ward or Treyarch game. Vanguard felt exactly like Modern Warfare 2019. You know, they put their World War II twist on it. They listened to the community and changed stuff around, but it was very, very, very similar, minus a few slide canceling changes. It was very similar to Modern Warfare 2019. But honestly, at the end of the day, I realistically don't think anything is really going to happen, you know? Again, I have been just disappointed with this Call of Duty franchise year after year after year, so expecting something fresh out of Sledgehammer this year is really just not realistic at all, especially hearing that this game that they're making started off as DLC, and then out of nowhere, in a blink of an eye, they're now expanding it into a full-fledged out project. You know what that proves to me? The campaign is going to be good, but 6v6 is going to be garbage. That's all it proves to me, because 6v6 is going to be just absolutely thrown together. It's going to be a mess. They're just going to try to get it to a playable place as fast as possible and chuck it out the door because they know Warzone is still going to be the bread and butter. All they have to do is just keep updating it live. The campaign is what people are going to really want to buy the next game for because it's going to continue the story. And whatever, side mode they want to do, they can do. But truthfully, I just don't have much faith. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bombs, I hate it. Leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content. Don't forget to subscribe and that notification button. Also, want to chat with me? There's two ways to do so. Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link is in the description as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.